now, Renegades of Puck to the trenches. It's time for the briefing. Tonight's opponent, the Carolina Hurricanes. First, before we get to that, a couple of things. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, of course. RenegadesOfPuck.com. That is exactly how you get in touch with everything going on with Renegades of Puck Television and what the Renegades of Puck are up to. Also, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel where you are watching this video right now. Twitter, at Renegades of Puck. Interact with us and do that as often as you can. And also Facebook. Make sure you're giving us a like right there on all of our different social media platforms. And let me now give you a couple of details before we get started on the briefing about our Twitch platform and how you can now start joining the briefing live right here in person, and we'll do that through our Twitch channel. We will start live streaming from before the briefing starts until it ends right here on Renegades of Puck Television. So make sure you are getting a Twitch account up and running and subscribing to the Renegades of Puck Twitch feed. We sure would appreciate you joining us there. Or, of course, you can wait until the produced version of the briefing is all set and ready and posted a little bit later in the day. We'd also like to let you know how you can become a partner of the Renegades of Puck by going to Venmo at Renegades of Puck, or you can scan the QR code right there on your screen right now. Very easy. Even $1 goes a long way to help the Renegades. After all, this is built by Renegades for Renegades, and we need your support to keep this thing going. We will be telling you about some great partners and businesses and sponsorships, but this is about Renegades building up Renegades. So I'm counting on you guys, even if only you can spare $1 as the season goes along. Every tiny little bit helps. So again, Venmo at Renegades of Puck. Rebirth Sports, they are back for another season. Look at this fantastic jersey they made for the Renegades of Puck. We're going to have so much more information about the Renegades of Puck recap coming up here very soon. Also, Stripe Digital. Look at renegadesofpuck.com. Look at this logo. Look at all the amazing work. Stripe Digital is exactly who has done all of that work for the Renegades of Puck. And I'm looking good. I'm looking lean. I'm looking trim. And you can too. Strong Style Fitness can help you with that, just as they have helped me along the way. More details on all of these great partners coming up very soon. And don't forget, we have the grievance line. 5 messages so far just since opening night. You can say whatever you want to say, and I encourage you, vent. Let us know exactly how you feel about it. 615-640-0916. Again, 615-640-0916. Completely anonymous. You can say whatever you want to say. I'll pick the best audio at the end of the week, and we'll feature it here on Renegades of Puck TV. The line is open to you 24 hours a day. So whenever it is that you have a thought that you want to vent about, let us know on the Renegades of Puck grievance line. Now, one more thing before we start the briefing. And now this happened last night during the Nashville Predators home opener against the Seattle Kraken. And if you're not exactly familiar with what I'm talking about, there was a fight in the stands. Now, when I was doing the debriefing last night, I would have commented on this, but I was not aware of this video until earlier today, and now it has been provided to us. Let's go ahead and take a look at the clip, and then I'll discuss. Thanks to @HickFreakness for getting us that video and giving us permission to use that here on Renegades of Puck TV. That was in section 104. Now listen, I have no idea what happened before that video started rolling, and I have no idea what happened after that video started rolling. But what I did see in the stands at Bridgestone Arena, frankly, is appalling. It's unacceptable, and it's not something that can become a regular feature of going to a Nashville Predators game. This is a team that's already in a competitive rebuild. It's a show that everyone loves going to and being a part of, But incidents like this will definitely make people think twice about paying such a high dollar to go out to see a night of hockey if this is the experience they were going to get. The incident itself, unacceptable. I honestly don't care what happened before it. To throw hands, to put hands on other human beings, it's unacceptable. Renegades of Puck, we don't do that. We handle our business a different way here in the trenches. I don't ever want to see that stuff happening, not in the stands, not in the nosebleeds, not in your rink, in your hometown, not anywhere. Keep your hands to yourselves and don't touch anyone else. Renegades, I expect you to monitor those rules when you're out there attending some great hockey events. So that fight cannot happen. What I didn't see, and maybe the shot was just not wide enough, I did not see any uniforms. I did not see ushers. I did not see enough people getting to that scene quickly enough. And I have enough experience at Bridgestone Arena to know that typically they are very on the ball. Maybe it was opening night. Maybe they were just out of frame and they just couldn't get there because of where the seats were. I'm open to hear more detail about it. But those types of incidents cannot happen. It made Nashville look terrible across the hockey landscape to have that broadcast throughout the world today. And just gross, absolutely gross. For the Seattle Kraken, final thought on them, if you want to be the big heels of the league, well, after one appearance here in the Music City, you are very much disliked for one of your fans throwing fists in the stands, and also for Tanev blowing kisses, and you defeating the Nashville Predators. Now, Renegades of Puck, let's move on with the briefing for the Carolina Hurricanes. Your Nashville Predators have played one game on the season. They hold a record of 0-1. Of course, that means they have 0 points. They're 2 points behind the rest of the pack, which means the Colorado Avalanche sit in first place in the Central Division. The Nashville Predators are 0-1 on home ice, and they welcome in last year's division rival and playoff opponent, the Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes won their first game of the season. They've got 2 points and sit tied for second place, 4th overall in the Metro Division. On the road, this will be their first appearance on the road this season. They defeated the New York Islanders 6-3 on opening night for the Canes. Svechnikov with 2 goals and assists for 3 points. Teravainen, 1 goal and 1 assist for 2 points. Niederreiter, a goal. Anderson, 25 of 28. After this game, the Canes don't play again until Thursday at Montreal. Now, you remember, these two teams played 14 times last season, including the playoffs, because of the way the divisional format worked out, and they got a chance to be division rivals for just 1 year, but did we ever get our fill of it? The Canes won in 6 in the first round of the playoffs, and we all have way too many memories of that, so no reason to recap that again. Now, what I want to see one day between these two teams in a rivalry is a Winter Classic at Neyland Stadium, the Battle of I-40 between the Nashville Predators and the Carolina Hurricanes. After the Nashville Predators absolutely knock it out of the Stadium Series, and they sell that out, and they show once again how they're a premier franchise in the NHL when it comes to world-class hospitality and entertainment events. I just go back to the draft when it was originally here. I go back to All-Star Weekend. I go back to the Stanley Cup Final and the playoff run of 2017, and the Nashville Predators representation and showing at the Cotton Bowl at the Winter Classic. The Nashville Predators will one day host a Winter Classic at Neyland Stadium versus the Carolina Hurricanes, and it will be the Battle of I-40, and it will have the greatest SEC football feeling that you've ever experienced in your life, with over 100,000 people in attendance. The NHL, you want to break a record, there's your opportunity to do so. Look, this isn't the same Canes team that the Preds played so many times last year. It was an offseason full of offer sheets, trades, rehab projects. Tony DeAngelo, really? That's what you're going to have to deal with. Didn't they win the division? Why did they make so many adjustments and so many changes? Look, good teams lose in the playoffs sometimes. Carolina was well on the bill. Their fan base is pretty unhappy with some of these moves. So this Carolina Hurricanes team, not exactly the same as we were so familiar with through the 14 games last year. Some of those familiar names are gone. So we'll have to see what happens with Carolina this season. Thankfully, the Nashville Predators only have to play Carolina 2 times. The first time, of course, going to be this game at Bridgestone Arena, and then the Preds will head off to Carolina on the 19th of December. For the Nashville Predators, of course, they started out the season 0-1, falling to the Seattle Kraken 4-3 in the home opener. Next, they will take on the LA Kings, and then Thursday, they will take on the New York Rangers. So they have West Coast, East Coast coming in after the Carolina Hurricanes, and that will close out the 4-game homestand before the Preds have the first of back-to-backs and their first road trip of the season, Saturday and Sunday, Winnipeg and Minnesota. So some divisional games for the Nashville Predators coming coming up. This is where we normally talk about the NHL ranks and the numbers and all of that, but you already know. The Preds have given up 3 on the season. They've scored 4. They had 30 shots the other night. They gave up 26. The power play was 1 out of 2. And the penalty kill, unfortunately, 0 out of 2, which means they gave up 2 goals against. Olivier, the only player listed on injury reserve right now for the Nashville Predators. The quick numbers for the Canes, they scored 6 against the Islanders, giving up 3. They had 41 shots in that game, giving up only 28 against. 2 out of 5 on the power play, and their penalty kill was perfect in that game. Across the league in the NHL, it's the first really huge day of the schedule, and it's going to be incredible. 14 total games. The Central Division is absolutely wired from start to finish throughout the schedule. I'll give you the highlights from the Central, the most critical games concerning the Nashville Predators. Arizona is at Buffalo. Dallas is at Boston. Chicago at Pittsburgh. St. Louis at Colorado. Winnipeg at San Jose. Minnesota at LA. Again, a total of 14 games. Renegades dig in. It is going to be one hell of a Saturday watching hockey here in October as the weather starts to change here across Middle Tennessee area and goes from very warm and humid to very fall-like temperatures. Hockey weather is indeed setting in. When we get to the debrief, you'll get to hear from Mostradamus, but unfortunately he won't be able to recap this game. He'll be discussing some college hockey. That's right. We'll be introducing more and more hockey topics as we move along, so we hope you will continue joining us. We've also signed, and I will have details for you very soon, on an NWHL correspondent. That's right. I want to hear all about the Connecticut Whale. I want to hear all about my favorite NWHL players, and you're going to get to hear that right here. College hockey, high school hockey, rec league hockey, pond hockey, hockey, wherever it happens, we're going to bring it to you. We are the Renegades of Puck, and we are in the trenches. We are willing to jump in there each and every day to deliver the goods for you. It's called no half-stepping, and that's exactly what we've been doing so far. Thank you. Thank you. You've done such an amazing job in the first few days of Renegades of Puck TV of supporting us, sending an incredible message, tips, suggestions, everything. Leave messages on the grievance line. Hit up the social media. Listen, it's the Renegades of Puck against the algorithm in the world right now, and I'm counting on each and every one of you to jump in the trenches and join me. Now, before we end the briefing for the day, I always like to give you a little bit of something to head you out the door and get you a little motivated and all fired up, so you know who it's time for. It's time for the Ultimate Predator.
Sounds like a storm brewing. You hear it? You feel it? Everything around me is getting cloudy, dark. I guess that means Carolina's rolling in, thinking they're going to come in, blow us out like they think they did at the end of last season. Well, let me tell you something. You guys gave everything up in order to make some kind of splash, and your splash with Tony DeAngelo? You're in so much more trouble than you realize. And now, for the first time this season, you're coming into our house with 17,500 strong for the first time in a year and a half? You have no chance. You've got nothing on what Smashville's going to bring to you. Tony DeAngelo? Some goalie nobody even cares about anymore? You're not just next. You're done.
Thanks so much, Ulti. Nashville Predators, second game of the season, second game of the homestand, a reignition of the series against the Carolina Hurricanes and the feud with them from last season. We'll be here to debrief after the game. It might be late, but Renegades of Puck TV will get on the air, getting better and better each and every episode. Stick taps, love and respect, everybody. Love you so much. I'm your host and your captain, Crazy Charlie Sonye.